Good morning. Welcome to St. Bridget's Spiritualist Church for March 1st. Never my favorite part. I am Reverend Kim, and I will be doing service today. So first of all, I want to tell everybody we had a wonderful day yesterday. It was our tea, and we had so many beautiful supporters come in, and it was just a very lovely day. So I just want to thank everybody for coming. That is what helps us keep paying the rent. We don't get money from any other sources, so thank you so much for that. We do appreciate it. So in that, we have a new event that Reverend Richard is very excited about. It is March 21st, 7 p.m., and it's Conversations and Healing with Spirit. So it's going to be kind of like platform like the Evening with Spirit, but he's going to give messages, and then he's going to do the second half, a healing. So very excited. So please join us. And he's been thinking about this for a while. So
the healing is for everybody.
Yes, the healing is for everybody. So that will be wonderful. So that is March 21st and at 7 p.m. Then, for those of you who are interested, April 18th and 19th, Reverend Richard is also going to be busy doing a psychic development course. So this is for anybody who, wants to kind of find out what they like, what they don't like, if this is for them, if the mediumship part is something that you like, then we can, you can move into a circle, a weekly circle. But this is $160 for the whole weekend, and it's a lot of fun. We get a lot of good feedback, so it's kind of neat to figure out things that you may or may not know that you're able to do. And I know it blew me away when I first started it, thinking I wasn't going to get anything. So those are coming. So anyhow, so today I'm going to talk about something that has been, it kept coming up yesterday, but it had started coming up in a reading I did on Thursday. So when I did a reading for someone on Thursday, Spirit brought through a message that was kind of almost like tender, but almost like corrective, like beyond notice. And they said, stop treating yourself like you are a discount dollar store version. Stop treating yourself like you could just pick you up at the $5 Walmart CD bin. Okay. And that was my friend who actually we were talking yesterday, and she said that. I like that. So, because we all know that bin, right? This is what's in there, right? So anyhow, Spirit doesn't waste words. And when they speak so plainly, there's absolutely a purpose. Like that's something that could really hit you. It hit me anyhow. And the message continued that you need to stop giving yourself less and others more. So you need to give others less, you more. Give yourself what you are giving to others, okay? And I suspect she's not alone. I know she's not alone, because I know most of us do that, right? Within the philosophy of spiritualism, we, affirm a divine source recognized as God, unity of all life. We also affirm the continuous existence of the spirit, as well as personal responsibility for every thought, word, and action. And we acknowledge reward and consequence for all deeds according to God's natural laws, right? Embedded in these principles is something powerful, and it's the inherent worth and divine origin of every soul. Okay? You are not an accident in biology. You're not a random personality drifting through time. You are an individualized expression of infinite intelligence. You are evolving through experience. To treat yourself as less than is not humility. It is a misalignment of the truth. Okay. Divine law does not rank souls by productivity, by sacrifice, or by how much they exhaust themselves for others. Wouldn't that be awesome? How great would that be, right? Like, 10 plus stars. Divine law responds to vibration. And is the vibration of self-neglect? What is the vibration of self-abandonment? What is the vibration of constantly placing yourself last? Often it's resentment, fatigue, quiet depletion, unspoken grief. When we give more to others than to ourselves, we create an imbalance. And divine law always seeks balance. And always balance, all right? Balance is very important. Spiritualism teaches personal responsibility. That responsibility is not only about our actions towards others, it is about our stewardship of the self. Okay. Your body is a vehicle for spirit. Your mind is an instrument. Your energy is magnetic. Your soul is in evolution. When you chronically discount your own needs, you interfere with your own development. You know, you just feel it's like you can't get anywhere, you can't get anywhere. Some of us were taught that being good means being self-sacrificing. That love means overgiving. That boundaries are selfish. How often do you hear that? If someone has a boundary, well, you know, she's just selfish and she's not, you know, she's not a very nice person, you know, like how could they, how dare they, you know? But Spirit shows repeatedly that healthy boundaries are expressions of self-respect, and self-respect stabilizes the aura. A stable aura strengthens mediumship. A clear energy field enhances your intuition. You know, when there's nothing clouding, you're going to get a lot more. Self-worth is not ego inflation. It is spiritual hygiene. Okay. If I do not value myself, I unconsciously teach others not to value me. How powerful is that? And I say that a lot to people because I know that if you are teaching others how to treat you. If you do not honor your time, I teach others it is expendable. If I do not protect my energy, I allow depletion to masquerade as service. You know, you see those people just forever, you know, always going and helping everybody else, and you can see how exhausted they are, and it just, you know, they're not looking after themselves. But they're in service. Under divine law, what we tolerate becomes part of our lesson cycle, not as punishment, but as education. If I continually choose relationships where I overfunction and I underreceive, the law will gently present the same pattern until I hit equilibrium. Spirit evolution is not about becoming smaller. It's about becoming more conscious. To live as your discount version of yourself means you accept less than your soul is capable of embodying. Less joy, less rest, less truth, less reciprocity. But you are not here for the clearance rack incarnation. Who signed up for that? Did somebody else sign up for that? Because I didn't. You are here to grow in wisdom, compassion, strength, and self-awareness. And there is a difference between service and self-erasure. True service flows from overflow. It is steady. It is peaceful. It does not secretly demand repayment. It does not require to quietly build resentment. When we give from depletion, we distort the vibration of what we offer. When we give from wholeness, we amplify the light. Spirit does not ask you to abandon yourself in order to be spiritual. Spirit asks you to awaken. Awaken to your patterns. Awaken to where you overextend. Awaken to where you silence your own needs. Awaken to where you accept resentment that does not honor your divine origin. So ask yourself this week, where am I overgiving? Where am I under-receiving? Where have I normalized imbalance? And instead of judging yourself, just observe. Observation is consciousness. Consciousness is evolution. When you begin treating yourself as a soul in sacred development, then you'll find something will shift. You rest without guilt because you understand restoration is necessary for growth. You speak truth without apology because authenticity strengthens vibrations. You choose relationships that reflect reciprocity because balance aligns with the divine law. And as your vibration stabilizes, your connection with spirit becomes clearer. The spirit world works through refined instruments. The clearer and more balanced the instrument, the more harmonious the communication. You know, communication just in general is so much better when you're open, willing to take in other opinions, thoughts, you know, process it.
If you do that, you get aura.
Yes. And your connection does come clear. The spirit world works through instruments, yes. So this is not self-help. This is your soul's work. You are not here to prove your worth through exhaustion. You know, people aren't saying, oh, she's amazing because she's exhausted all the time. Look how much she gives out. You know, you are not here to earn love through overfunctioning. You are not here to shrink so others feel comfortable. That's what a lot of people do in many relationships. You'll shrink yourself so others can feel comfortable. Why would you do that?
That's how you lose aura.
Yeah. You are here to evolve, to learn, to refine, to express the infinite through your individuality. No soul evolves through self-disrespect. You know, if you treat yourself like garbage, how are you feeling? You're not suddenly going to be great and, you know, spread in wonderful words. So today I'm asking if we can make a quiet commitment, you know, to honor our energy, respect our boundaries, to give and receive in balance, to treat ourselves as expressions of the divine intelligence. Not inflated, you're not superior, just simply aligned. Okay? Because when you stop living as your discounted version of yourself, you step into a spiritual maturity. And this is where growth will accelerate. This is where peace will deepen. And this is where spirit meets you most clearly. You are not a lesser copy. You are not an afterthought to the universe. You are an eternal soul in sacred progression. So live accordingly and honor yourself. Okay. So yeah, this was just like very profound when I had heard it the other day. And I just felt it needed some more sussing out. So thank you to those who joined us online today, and we will see you hopefully next week.